it's kind of interesting to reflect back and realize that common sense is not always that common these days. And it's just like anytime you think it's about time that things are getting back to normal, it's like, oh no, here we go again. And it's like even just the logic of treating people decently, like the golden rule of treat others as you want to be treated, seems so foreign at times. And then there is a point where everyone is like, oh, you should treat me well. But they never started treating someone first well, or they didn't realize that they were treating someone bad first. And so it's just sort of like that cycle of, okay, we can only end the cycle ourselves. If we try to do it, then it will just carry on and on and on. And then there's kind of this thing of you can either start a conversation or start a fight in a way. And then if you're on the internet, you probably aren't going to change anyone's mind by arguing with them on the internet. You're only going to reinforce their opinions as they're trying to win against you now. You've made it a fight. And then sometimes it's just better to be like taking the ball and going home rather than engaging with certain people, especially when it's not going to be a good faith conversation from one side, because the conversation is a two-way street. Then there is stuff with business where it's like logic dictates treat your customers and your employees well because both matter to your success. And then generally if you take care of both those, they'll be happy and you'll get money. And then the customer is right in matters of taste. They may have different ideas on what things should cost and so forth. But then, is the game you're selling fun? Do they think the product looks good on them? Do they like the color of the product? And then, if they're right, but you actually don't really think their taste is that great, they are still right. They are completely and utterly right because they will pay for it. The other key is with employees is that, and again, customers as well, is that there are some people who don't engage in good faith transactions and that each will exchange or that exchange that principle that should be in place. But then it's like, for the basic things, are you treating them decently? And when you do, is there a point where it's like, okay, yeah, you haven't been decent back, and being able to deal with that. But again, it's like, where do we start with and how do we end the cycles of continual fighting? But anyway, those are my thoughts on this. Why not share your thoughts as well?